I am Raza Malik, and today we're doing same shit, different day, but we're doing it, and I forgot to intro my host, co-host. First off is my main man, the tech guy.
Bayley Nargang. You gotta give me a more inducing lead there. Come on, bro.
Okay. And the amazing, the one who cannot stop talking about TikTok at every moment. It is.
It's Wine Mom.
Hello, Wine Mom, and we're doing something different today. I saw a great trilogy, a sports movie, and I feel like the entire world should definitely know about this.
Was it Airbud?
No. Yes.
Fuck.
How'd you get that?
It was?
Oh, fuck.
It was
Airbud?
Airbud?
All right. So, what do you think of sports movies, guys? Do you think of sportsmanship, winning, or do you feel for the bad guys, such like in the one in Rocky movies? By the way, it was Rocky, not Bud Bailey.
Oh, god damn it.
Is Creed the best sports movie? Probably. I don't know. Tessa Thompson's in it. All right. So, by the way, Tessa Thompson is in Thor Ragnarok. She plays the Valkyrie in that. All right. So, what makes Creed so good? I have no clue. So we'll talk about a better movie, which is pretty close to Creed, but it's also in the Rocky universe. Guys, do you want to take any hints? Okay, guesses? You want to take any?
It's pretty close to the Rocky universe.
Yeah.
The one with Hugh Jackman, the Rock'em Sock'em Robots one.
All right. That's all right.
I have no idea what's happening.
All right. So Bailey. Let's just say Bailey's wrong.
Okay.
You guessed it. With the Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks?
Yes.
Of all time. Your mom, your aunt, even your Uncle Joe loves it.
Oh my goodness.
But you like that? Curveball through your way. So let's talk about the Mighty Ducks. Came out the same year I came out of my mom in 1992. Saw in 2 movies and also 2 TV series. I didn't put the 2 there because I forgot it had the animated TV series. And Americans can play hockey according to Disney. So let's meet the coach. Coach Bombay was a lawyer, celebrated his 30th case by getting drunk, and this is the one that Wine Mom had in her story, Emilio Estevez. He got arrested while getting drunk, had to do 500 hours of community service by coaching a pee-wee hockey team. Hockey and him are like Bailey and social skills. Unpleasant. He used to play on the PE hockey team called the Hawks, was a star, and his dad died, and that impacted his playing skills. Wants to bang the team leader's mom, by the way. That's canon.
Okay.
The MFing team.
Are you giving us a comprehensive history of the Mighty Ducks right now? Is this a whole presentation on the Mighty?
You'll see.
We're gonna see, Bailey. Let's make it through this.
You'll see. So, the goddamn team. So we had team lead Charlie Conway, Dawson's Creek, the one who can't stop skating. Greg Goldberg, the frickin' goalie, a fucking nerd on the team, by the way. Lester Aveman. I'm not sure who David Karp was, so I just assume he was the second goalie in my research. The generic white boy, Guy Germain. Let's get all fancy shanty with that. The revolutionary, Peter Marks. The cool one, Jesse Hall, the enforcer. Food and Reed, and you may know him from the hit show Daredevil, by the way. And the other team. Yeah, a woman, by the way, on this hockey team, Connie Moreau. Rich kid, formerly of the goddamn Hawks. Adam Banks, little bro Tower Hall, and Tommy and Tammy Duncan. By the way, Tammy, a ballerina, and she takes the ballerina skills to the ice, where she dominates. Give it up. Wild.
Woo,
All right.
fucking Mighty Ducks.
So, the hot mom potentially lets Bombay become a stepdad. They make out in the end. It's almost fuck the coach, I think. Pretty much as a hot for the coach. Movies are made in the 90s, so women are still portrayed as one-dimensional. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Le douchebag. Coach Riley, Hawks, and former coach of Bombay. Disappointed in Bombay for screwing up so many years ago. Still hasn't gotten over it. Cry about it. Coaching a Pee Wee hockey team is his life. May go postal if he loses a game. That's a red flag. Right, guys? Right, guys? Oh, I fucked up.
So the mom, that's wild, though. It is kind of gross that she's only known for, like, having the hots for the coach.
Oh, yeah. So the fuck happens in this movie, Wine Mom and Bailey? Well, for starters, it's an uplifting story about a suburban kids trying to play some hockey, but get their asses kicked during the first half of the movie, somehow make the playoffs. Coach Riley, mid-game, puts a hit out on a 7-year-old kid, right? A kid fucking dies during a game.
What?
And the other kid has no remorse for this. And he says, just doing my job. Just like guy from Rocky. See, I'm making connection there. I'm wasting nobody's time. I am really good at this. And of course they win. Coach Riley becomes a serial killer and Bombay almost bones Conway's mom.
Bombay
the goddamn
coach,
sequel.
Correct?
Goddamn sequel.
Quick summary. So,
right.
coach ordered hit on kid. Kid
Yes.
dies.
Kid
Team
dies.
feels no remorse.
Yes.
Bombay quite possibly bangs the main character's mother.
Yes.
Movie ends. Okay, continue.
And then cut to D2, the MFing sequel. The Ducks are taking on the world, guys. Let's get it up. This ain't your Pee Wee hockey division, bro. They're representing the US of A, the goddamn Commonwealth Games. The Ducks are older, harder, and much more rugged than before. But now the world's eyes are on them. Bombay still suffers from PTSD that the coach Riley inflicted. I mean, get over it. It's just hockey. So, they knew fuckers, right? A woman being a goalie? Oh my god, woke guys. Oh my god. Julie Gaffney. A fucking cowboy is playing hockey now. Dwayne Robertson. The second enforcer. Oh, by the way, this Dean Portman and Lou Reed, the last enforcer, combine them, they make the Bash Brothers. Let's give it up. So, and then SNL, Russ Riley, you know him from SNL, the longest cast member from SNL. The Lady Killer, Louis Mendoza, and the other cool kid, Ken Wu. Ken Wu is a gymnast, by the way, and brings his fucking gymnast skills to the ice ring and kicks ass right there. By the way, he's aged like fine wine.
Damn.
So the bad guys are Finland, just the whole goddamn country of fucking Finland, right? The whole damn country wants a death wish, right? Well, not entirely the whole damn country. Just the hockey team. Hockey is a way of life for them. They are undefeated in this tournament. The Mighty Ducks get slapped by them. Slapped in the first meeting, 12-1. Finland basically makes Charlie their bitch. Alright? Finland's team is full of grown men, as you can see in this picture, full-grown Aryan men who are playing against young teens. All right, let's go. All right, and then
my god, holy fuck!
in other one of Bombay's conquest, since the teams need. By the way, the hot mom is gone. I don't know where she went. It hasn't explained that. So the kids' team is away.
The kid's still there. The mom is gone, but the kid is still there.
Right. They need that education, which is weird. So while they be getting they shit kicked in on a global level, a tutor helps them keep their grades up. Naturally, Bombay tries to bag him and tag him. It's literally the only it's literally only used as an interest for the coach, Bombay. Bro, what happened? Well, since the team takes a beating throughout the movie, they use the power of friendship to overcome the Finnish team. Team Finland is better in real life. I found that out. And have more wins. After getting their asses handed to them by grown adults, the Ducks win. By shootout, Charlie gets the shot in for the Ducks. Julie, a woman, by the way, to block the other shot from going in. Yeah, and now we're going on. They're so crazy. They made a third one. They made a third one, guys. They made a third one. What? I know. I know. I was.
You made a presentation for all of these. You're
Yes.
Wild.
The team is split up, sorta. They go to this prestigious high school called Eden High, I think. After
so I got
the win.
only one question. I got only one question. Okay.
Yeah.
Only one.
Right.
Which characters from the second film are now in the third film of the hockey team itself?
So most of the characters come over.
So do we
Most
still
of the
have Ken Wu?
Yes, but I'm making a point of a specific character. So keep your shit on. All right.
All right, continue.
So after the win, nobody saw this win. Nobody saw the scripted win, or nobody saw it coming. Coach Bombay isn't in the movie as much. Charlie wants the Ducks to stay together as a family. Coach Bombay, cucks out. New coach, by the way, they get a new, sexier coach. He's like a dick, but maybe they're just more that meets the eye, guys. Maybe there's just some more. Right, guys? The new coach, Coach Orion, a dick? Let's discuss about that. Let's talk about this. Much like our wine mom, he is a no bullshitter and demands results. Complete opposite of Bombay. Doesn't want to bang Charlie's mom, so that's a plus. The team takes a hard time adapting to him on account of him being a dick.
Wow.
The end game.
Wild.
Well, the team is split up. Some go to prep school, some don't. Charlie doesn't like the new coach, but Coach Bombay tells him what's up. Orion's daughter has a disease, so rather than going off and being big, he stayed in the city, took care of his daughter, who was mentioned once. His daughter has a disease that she can't walk, and she needs a motorized, what do you call it? Motorized scooter to get around. Yeah. They don't tell you why or what her disease is. They just tell her that she has a disease. So that's up in the air for that. Coach Orion gets kicked off as a coach after team finds out the scholarship ends that year. I know, gas, right? They appeal, causing them to miss the motherfucking game. Coach Bombay Hoomstava is a lawyer, by the way, if you remember the first movie. He was always a lawyer.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Remember in the first slide, I said he was a lawyer celebrating his 30th case, and that's how it all started, right?
Okay.
He helps them win the case, and therefore they win the scholarship.
So it's
the
all
last
a story
game.
about fucking Orion.
Yeah.
Okay.
During the last game, the Ducks become the Ducks. They wear the fucking jerseys, right, boys? Right, bud? The high school varsity team coach puts a hit on the players during the last game. Remember how I said the Bash Brothers? So the new Bash Brother isn't in the movie for half of the movie, but then he comes back at the second half of the final game, and then he murders kids. He murders the varsity team. During the second half, the Ducks catch up on points, even with two men, because they're two players of boys, Bailey. Yes, that's right. Two men, which is PC. Goldberg gets the last goal after Charlie misses, and Charlie gets shit on. So the hot mom comes back.
Oh,
the first movie.
okay.
She's back. Charlie's
Welcome
mom
back,
is
Hot
back.
Mom.
Is better than ever. She's there to support her son. Bombay has moved on to other hobbies, such as hockey moms. Bailey, this is canon. If this is too much, turn off the monitor, God damn it. And then it hasn't aged a day
Wow.
because the movie came out in 3 years. And then the last point. The Mighty Duck Game Changers on Disney Plus, guys. I'm watching it. The greatest
Wait,
Ash
what?
tried to. Yeah.
Sorry. What the fart just happened right now in front of me? Raza, what?
So, almost 30 years. This is the sequel to the third movie. This is a TV show. After 30 years later, Coach Bombay hasn't changed. Living in the basement of the Ice Palace, a new team called the No Brothers are now the underdogs, and the Ducks are the Ducks. They are iconic Ducks. Quack, 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 quack. Ow. He hates coaching, but a mom, one of his interests coaching the no bothers. Bombay is against coaching, but later, with the help of the all-grown up Ducks, becomes the assistant coach. He is consistent though, trying to slay the star player's mom up the no.
What on earth?
Bothers. He still got it though, and
So
that
they
is
didn't even-
my.
Okay, finish your presentation. Conclude.
And that is the ending of the Mighty Ducks and the legacy it has left behind. I'm Raza Malik. I'm reporting from Ontario, Canada. Back to you, Bailey.
That's wild.
Okay, so what was the the part you did not leave with that presentation that I would like to investigate upon, right?
Mm-hmm. Here we go.
What's the legacy? What is the legacy that they left?
That the Ducks are now the status quo. Oh,
Are they the mightiest? Is
thanks. I forgot about that.
That's not a legacy.
There you go. No,
give me
it's
a-
just like what? Sorry?
Give me a duck-worthy legacy here. That's what I'm looking for.
The Coach Bombay Ducks like the duck. No chick is left behind. So when the Ducks came back, the old grown-up Ducks came back. They were like, "Why is the city treating Coach Bombay terrible? He brought the city up. The Ducks are him. He is the Ducks. The Ducks are him. Let's celebrate Coach Bombay and his tribe of hockey players."
What city is the Ducks located in within this franchise?
I think Minnesota. I could be wrong about that.
How do you not even know? Okay.
That's the one thing I didn't search.
Irregardless, so in the second movie, you brought up a female who stopped a winning goal. Correct?
Mhm.
Who was
Big
that?
deal, yeah. Her name is Julie the Cat.
Of course.
That's the name they gave her. I'm just the messenger.
I'm just shocked that we just went through this whole breakdown just for Raza to go, I'm watching a show on Disney Plus. Thank you.
You're welcome, guys. You're fucking welcome. You're very welcome.
Honestly, I've actually never watched the movies. Like, I may have when I was like really young, but I don't remember the context of them at all.
Yeah,
There's a lot.
aged. It's aged. It's aged like a hot milk on a hot Sunday day.
Honestly, like, I think it's wild that they're bringing a TV show back now.
It's just like on the last two episodes, I think. Yeah, it's crazy, and they're being cool about it. They're being So the reason why I said Charlie Sheen last time was because guess who's Charlie Sheen's brother, Emilio Estevez, and that's why I was like making that connection. All right, guys. So that was my presentation. Thank you for my TED Talk.
Oh, yay!
Very proud.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
a special boy. You're a special boy. That was a good TED Talk. We approve of it. You deserve recognition. You should be flattered
This
about
coming
your
off as
research
condescending.
skills.
That's condescending
Mhm.
now. This is coming off as more.
No, that was really good, Raza. I enjoyed it.
That's it. The more he's sarcastic, I feel he
Honestly, I think we were both just really shocked that that's. I was thrown off.
Yeah, do
I
you
thought
see
you were
the
giving us some sort of like meme breakdown. I figured you were
Yeah.
gonna end up insulting something. I didn't realize I was getting a summary of all 3 Mighty Ducks movies. And
Four.
That was
Yes.
your
Four.
surprise.
Four.
Yes.
Three movies in one series.
All right, 4. But it's
Four.
I
All right,
enjoyed.
4.
I enjoyed making it. It took. I was just like, I know this is gonna work. I know I should.
I'm
Alright.
so proud of you, Raza. I liked it.
Thanks.
Jeez.
All right. So with that, the next part of our
Mm-hmm.
podcast is serial. No, I'm kidding. Disney. Disney. What do you like about Disney? I will open the floor. And I got a link to something to Bailey.
Yes.
Okay.
The gaming stream now, but
Oh,
I
yeah,
would,
okay, continue talking.
yeah, but let me link
Mhm.
it 1 second. Disney.
Mm-hmm.
We all hung out and had a good time with Disney. What 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 are some some movies and stuff that you guys can go back to and say this is I like.
Are you asking like favorite Disney movies, Disney series, Disney shows,
That's
Disney
a little broad.
characters?
It has to be with Disney in general.
Just
a
Disney in
very-
general?
Like mine is Aladdin because I'm
Okay.
very one-dimensional.
I have to say, I think like one of the most underrated Disney movies is Anastasia, which she's like a princess too, but her story is
know.
very different.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad one.
Yeah, it's not
I just
bad.
feel like nobody talks about her. She's
No,
kind
no
of
one
like
ever
the
talks about
untalked
that one.
about. Mm-hmm.
There's a
I really
couple
like
from,
her.
Like our in between era of like the early
Mhm.
2000s that they just don't acknowledge exist anymore,
No.
like at all.
Yeah. Like
Well, and also there's this trend with Disney like not making strong princesses, but like Anastasia was a pretty badass princess. Like I don't think she got the credit she deserved, especially the time that she came out. Like I feel like she deserved way more cred. I'm just saying.
I know
agree.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. Like that's woke Disney is a contradiction in itself because it like puts down its own characters that it like developed organically. Like even when you look at like the trash movies that didn't do well, like the modern adaptation of Sinbad, the main character wasn't like Caucasian. He was like vaguely multicultural. But of course, those are the movies that like don't get the popularized spotlight because it's not Mickey Mouse or like a blonde-haired woman.
Right.
Right.
I think Disney's just complicated the way they do things.
That's where I feel bad because my favorite movie was Atlantis. My favorite movie was Atlantis. And it's still
Love.
it still is, but it's 100%. It's 100% just a white savior moment. It's a white savior's movie.
It is, but that's a very good Disney movie that I think that not a lot of people remember or talk about. I think in meme culture, you see it come up a lot. Like I have seen it like on Tumblr and stuff, but it's not that popular of a movie. Like whenever I bring that movie up, people are like, "That's a Disney movie?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah,
What do you
that's
mean?
my favorite of all time, the animation style, the way it looks, the aesthetics of it. And then it is white savior, but it's like at least he's like embracing it's all about he's trying to save their culture and he doesn't want capitalism and the grossness to get to it and he wants them to stay underground, right?
Yes.
So at least it's not the toxic like I have to show the world the technology that the Atlanteans have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I also felt like each character was individually very good.
I
Like
agree. I agree.
They formatted them really well. They all had really great personalities, and like they were all distinctly their own characters, and I really felt like they did a good job on that one for sure.
Yeah, the bad guy was very well motivated.
Yes.
So, what do you guys think of the live action remakes of like Milan and
No.
Lion?
No.
Okay.
No.
I
I don't
tried,
like
I tried the Jungle Book and a bit of the Lion King, and when I couldn't get through the Lion King, I was like, yeah, and it's not for me. It's not
Yeah.
for me. It's not my cup of tea.
I don't really enjoy the live action adaptations. I think when I was a kid, I was really, really, really hopeful for a Little Mermaid live action adaptation. And that never
The good one.
happened. Right. That never happened, and they
Yeah.
were doing other things. And I know there's like talk of them doing it now. But I just feel like for me, the time has come and passed. So the idea of live action just doesn't really appeal to me. And also, even with the live action like Lion King, it's not really live action because you still have to animate the animals
Yeah, it's a
like
weird
pretty
shot
heavily.
for shot remake of
Yeah.
the first movie, but I think we are getting to the point where now we have gone like Disney is now just re-releasing their own stuff now, and like
Yes.
to a new generation. and stuff.
But I will say, any of the Peter Pan movies, amazing. Like, loved them all of them, animated, even like the live action, like anything Peter Pan. I love that whole story. I just think it's so cute, and it's just like it's a very sweet sort of adult but still kid like series of movies,
So
and
can
I
you
love them.
explain it to me? I've been very curious. Sorry, I had the playback on. I've been very curious. Why? I don't understand why there's Peter Pan enthusiasts. I would like to have that explained.
You don't
to me.
like Peter Pan?
I don't have a
It's about
particular
purity, though.
disdain for it, but like I don't understand like the mass appeal of it. It's like a cute story, but why is it like the poppin' one? It's a little creepy.
Okay, well, I think the reason why it got so popular was because of the Robin Williams movie.
Yeah.
It like that movie is just so good. It really is just so good. But I think the reason why it has become like such a like it has such like a cult following is because you think of the movie Stand By Me. Have you guys seen that movie? It's an adaptation of a Stephen King novel. It's very much like a boy's like coming of age story.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And so with Peter Pan, it's still the same concept of like a coming of age story, except they don't come of age. And basically it talks about how like cuz through that whole movie Peter is quite obviously an adult man, right? But it's talking about how like no matter how old you get, you can still keep your childlike wonder in the world and like still have that like joy and enjoyment of the world. And I think like with the trend of how the world is now, like you become 25 and you're bitter. Life sucks. It's hard. You got to work a 9 to 5 job, sometimes more than that, like bills to pay. And it just like the world just seems very daunting. But that movie brings the idea of like growing up, but still being a kid at heart. And it's just so pure and sweet. And I don't know. I just really, I like it. And the whole dynamic of Never Neverland, like that whole dynamic of that whole world is just so magical. It really feels like you're like stepping into a kid's dream.
Yeah.
It's cool.
What's magical about Never Neverland? That's what I've never really got. What's the appealing?
They have
factor?
mermaids. They have
Yeah,
mermaids.
Little shocker, Bailey. Neverland is not a real place. All right, so there's not like the appeal.
Okay,
Like
Raza. Okay, Raza. We like Star Wars and shit and comic books. You gotta have some suspense of disbelief
Okay.
here, bro.
Okay. It's the escape.
You're the
That's
one
what-
that
it's purely Okay, listen, boys. It's purely the escape. Like the whole concept that like you can escape because Never Neverland has been presented as a world that you hop on a ship and you go to this world and you can fly there and there's all this magic stuff, right? And that's how it's presented in the movie. These kids are removed from their home and they go to this beautiful land where they have the opportunity to be children forever, right? But the reality is like your imagination is that place. That's the whole concept of the movie. And like I think everybody has their own interpretation. This is my own. But for me, the concept seems like it's like that world that's within your head, which is like where creative people live a lot of the time, is in their own never lands in their minds, right? If you're a creative person, you have to kind of see outside the box. And so I think it just kind of is reminding you that like you can still live a regular life but have that like childhood wonder to the world. That's why I think
Yeah,
it's
like
I do relate to that because I was a big like the Chronicles of Narnia fan. I read the fuck out of the Chronicles.
That's
of
a good
Narnia,
one.
well, it's
right?
it's that
And
it's
that's
Harry
exactly
Potter,
yeah.
right?
Percy Jackson.
But I think I'm surprised that you don't like it as much, considering how much you like The Matrix. Because I feel like The Matrix is the same sort of idea, but it's a little bit darker and more adult, obviously, because it's a slightly different concept. But there is that whole idea of like another world of other things happening.
No, I support that. I just don't get the idea of like this fairy boy Peter Pan taking me to the Neverland, and I don't see.
I guess it's not.
I guess
then.
my overly fucking grumpy only child ass, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was never like patiently a kid. I always wanted to finish being a kid. So I don't understand the appeal of wanting to be a kid forever, you know?
I think
Okay,
you just answered
see-
your own question.
Well, but let me just say this: as the oldest child in the two-child household that I was in, I had the same concept of like I was done being a kid very early, and I wanted to grow up. And I was made responsible for my little sister very early on. So you sort of assume like a pseudo-adult phase in your life. And so the reason why it's enjoyable for me is because it makes me think of like all the fun childhood things that like I didn't do, and like that little bit of wonder that I didn't get to have. So I understand for you where you're like, oh, I just don't feel connected to it, and like I didn't live that kind of a life, and like I feel differently. I can understand the disconnect. But I think for me, it kind of like it grounds me in the fact that like I can still be an adult and still be childlike and still have like that child wonder. Because
Yeah,
I am an adult, but like don't get me wrong, I am not an adult. You know what I mean? Like I have a good time and I do like what I want to do, and there's a lot of like things that I remember being a kid and being like, oh, I wish I could do these things, and like now I'm an adult, so I do them. Like I do what I want, right?
like
So that's where I
you-
connect.
You don't want to lose your innocence and
Exactly.
and your purity. So I think Peter Pan is a good representation of our innocence, the things that we don't want to lose, of our
Mhm.
like of our naivety, and like
Yeah.
our like when the older
What about
we
the tail? Like, so the other ones we mentioned, like Harry Potter, all
God.
those other like namely childhood stories, I feel like they illustrate that naivete much better. Even Winnie the Pooh illustrates naivete much more excellently than Peter Pan. I don't understand what's like naive about it. He just follows some fairy in the Neverland and then
Well,
stumbles
I
into
think
Captain Hook and
That's
ends
pretty
up
naive,
doing
bro.
the
That's
right
very
thing.
naive to do that.
No,
You
I
didn't do
understand
that.
I understand what Bailey's saying. He just doesn't buy the whole concept of it, which I
Yeah.
get that. But I think like I can see how it's appealing. I understand how you don't see it's appealing. I don't know how else to
I
describe
don't hate
it.
it, by the way. I don't hate it, by the way.
No,
It's
I get
just-
it. It just doesn't appeal to you. I think okay,
Yeah.
but when you think about so think of it this way. Harry Potter, like that is a whole world of its own, right? And it does sort of have the same concept, you go through Diagon Alley and you're transferred into this whole different world, right? Which is very similar to the concept of Peter Pan. But Peter Pan, I think, is more about like the characters and the story and like the group of the boys that all lived there and like their stories and how they got to where they got. And I think what isn't talked about enough is a lot of the boys that are stuck in Never Land were like abandoned kids. They were like the kids that their parents didn't really care about them, or they kind of felt like they didn't fit into the world. And so that's where they went to feel like family and connected. And so they created a family there. And some of the boys were acting kind of like as father figures or as the older boys. And so they were still able to sort of have like a dynamic of like adult and child, but still also all be children at the same time. Whereas Harry Potter, like, you're trained to become a wizard to save the world from Voldemort. It's a different sort of concept, right? This one is more like, we stay this way forever.
No, because that's so no. But in Harry Potter, you're not. Like, you could be any little fuck at that school in Harry Potter, right? Like, that's the difference. In Neverland, it's like you have to be in the seat of that guy for the whole story to make fun sense. You know what I'm saying? That's what kind of bugs me about it.
I don't know if I agree.
Yeah.
I think every character has their own dynamic storyline. That's the same thing with like Alice in Wonderland. Every single character in that show, yes, we follow her, but they all have their own dynamic storylines.
I mean, in the sense that you would be able to, like, envision yourself as a character in that little fantasy universe as a kiddo, right? Like, Neverland, it's like, where the fuck do I fit in? Right? Like, where do you fit in?
See, it's all relatable, though. Like, you have to find it to be relatable to you. Like, so yeah,
Raza, what would you do in Neverland, Raza? Tell me, what would you do in Neverland? Yeah.
I would hang out. I would BMX with my homies all day, man. You know how?
Yeah, I would have a great time.
Great time. I hate, like, I'm the opposite of you, bro. Like, I think I'm like what the vast majority of kids were growing up. They didn't want to grow up. I was like that too. Now I have bills. Now I got responsibilities. Neverland is a representation of your, like, relative happiness, right? To me, that's a time when to me, I was the happiest the most. It may not be the same for you, but to me, it's a message of this, like, or not a message. It's like an analogy of like my youth, my, like, where I came from, the experiences I went through. That's all it is.
See, but I see how that is analogous in other properties. Like, I'm being Peter Pan specific, not Raza's emotion specific. Like,
but that is related to Peter Pan. It is related to Peter Pan.
That is like, what do you? But no, like, literally, super creative. No, super creative. Like, do you want to play in Neverland? Like, do you want to, like, play with fairies? Like, I don't get the analogous, like, how does it remind you of being a kid? Is it because you want to just play games with the homies? Like, I don't get
your
that
memories,
part.
Your experiences, the life you had then, the people you met. It's everything that you did back then can be your own Neverland. It's relative and stuff at the end of the day.
But I think it's also like, when you're a kid, like, think back to when you were a kid. A lot of the times you would hear stories about like fairies or mermaids or pirates or hidden treasure and like all these like cool, fun concepts of like this world that's in your mind that's like, you know, in the Disney books that you read as a kid. Neverland is all the Disney stuff all in one place. It's kind of like Fantasia, you know, Disney has the movie Fantasia where everything from Disney is in that movie, but Neverland is kind of like where Fantasia is. That's what it is. It's all these great things. So for me, like, I would, if I was a kid and I went to Neverland, I would 100% become a good pirate instead, because, you know, I wouldn't want to join Hook because he sucks. But I would become like a good pirate.
Immediately.
Nope. But I would want to like travel the cool lands and like see the water and see like the different fairy creatures and the mermaids and all those like cool dynamic things that are in this world that don't exist in my real world. And as a kid, like, you want to be in a fantasy world. Every kid fantasizes about mystical creatures and stuff like that. So when you go to Neverland, that's what it is.
Fine.
Do you have a response to that?
Fine.
You really gotta grind him down.
Literal. Yeah.
No, I get it though. No, but I understand. I can understand. I can get it.
No one explained that. The books didn't illustrate that shit to me. It illustrated that there's a greedy pirate who wants some shit, and I want to hang out with a fairy, and it's difficult, and I just want to look. I got homies here who are kids. That sounds.
But you're supposed to pick up on the themes, the themes, like the tones of it and stuff. Like, there's gonna be a literal story. Obviously, what you got was a literal story, but clearly you missed the what it was trying to convey and stuff like that. But like again, maybe Peter Pan isn't for you. Maybe Winnie the Pooh translate these emotions better to you and stuff.
I would say that personally, yeah. Because you got.
Okay. See,
Yeah, but
I don't think
like,
Winnie the Pooh does. I don't think it does. But I think, but again, I think it's relative to you, right?
I mean, I can understand how Winnie the Pooh does that, because as a kid goes into the forest, which is a very common thing you do. Like, you go up north with your family and you go into the forest and you're transferred into like this different area. Except, Winnie the Pooh is like his stuffed character that somehow becomes real, right? I think that's the whole concept of that, because he is like literally the whole thing is he wakes up every morning and his seam is busted and his stuffing is coming out, right? Like that's that whole sort of thing, and that's more, I feel, in a small space for a kid trying to find some sort of escape. So I get it. I just think like the whole thing of Peter Pan is like it's a story about like the kids, yes, but I think it's also just about like the cool dynamics of like a completely different universe that exists, because that's really what it is. It's this place that like kid like you can escape to.
Okay,
not a literal place, Bailey.
Okay, you've sold me on the Peter Pan.
I don't think we have. I think you're just trying to shut us up because you're embarrassed.
Honestly, I think you should rewatch. I think you should rewatch the live action Peter Pan and then come back to us and see how you feel.
So you're ready? I was so much of a hick that I didn't know the live action Peter Pan existed until I was like much older, because there wasn't movie theaters where I grew up. So all of a sudden I come back and I'm like fucking 12 and I'm like, oh, Robin Williams was Peter Pan. How was Robin Williams was Peter Pan, or
no, he was
he played Peter Pan. He was Peter Pan.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Okay, but see, this is the thing, because when you look at because I can understand where it can be confusing, because the cartoon version of Peter Pan, he's a kid. That's the whole concept, right? But this version of Peter Pan, I think it's meant to be kind of like a continuation of the original Peter Pan, but also not, because a lot of the characters are the same, but Peter Pan is older instead of younger, because like you can obviously tell that Peter Pan is not a young kid in that movie. He's obviously an adult man, but I think it's because at one point in time Peter Pan had come back to the real world and tried to live like to grow up, because he had fallen in love, and like it's just it's kind of complicated how they did it, so you kind of have to fill in the blanks yourself to figure out how he became an adult. But inevitably he goes back to the world where he can be a kid again, right? So I can understand how it can be kind of confusing, but it really is like, I think with this perspective of like what me and Raza have told you, and like being an adult now, go back and rewatch it. I think you would maybe like it a little bit more.
Yeah, it'll help you understand things more.
Yeah.
Fine.
So.
Fine. I will secede.
So
I feel like I'm gonna watch it again because of this. Like, I loved that movie. It was so cute.
I kind of want to, like, when I was talking.
Frustrated that I lost the debate. I'm just right now.
Oh no! Oh no!
Jesus!
Oh, no.
Now I have to watch Peter Pan.
Okay. Okay. So that aside, I have a question for you guys. What was your favorite like coming of age, like boys related coming of age Disney type movie? I hope one of you guys say the one that I like, because otherwise I'll be sad. I'm pretty sure it's a Disney movie. I'm not sure.
Max Keeble's Big Move. Max Keeble's Big Move.
I don't know that one.
Yeah.
That was Spy Kids.
Max
Spy
Keeble's
Kids?
What?
That wasn't even Disney. I don't know.
I was like, Spy Kids is not Disney.
That's a good question. I don't know. It's not. To me, it isn't. What is that laugh? It isn't.
Sorry.
The Googles. Like, I don't know. To me, it's I don't. Mine is like not a Disney movie.
Okay, so let's move away from Disney. You can say any childhood one, because we talked about Disney, I think, pretty dynamically. I'll tell you mine, and then you can just pick one. Like, my favorite, like, coming of age boys type movie, hands down, is The Goonies.
Oh, okay.
I've
that's
literally
good.
lived for that movie.
Surprise!
Surprise! Yeah.
Surprise!
Really, mine's Lord of the Rings. Yeah, mine is the Fellowship of the Ring.
The Ring.
Coming.
Okay, wait. I'm curious. Why did you say that? Why? Because I like Peter Pan. The Goonies is similar to Peter Pan.
Wine Mom has a certain classic taste for aged wines, you know.
And I dig it.
So of course it's not like no modern shit. It's not like the adventure home with the animals. It's not any cartoons. You're picking the Goonies.
Yes.
Hey, you guys, Goonies.
Hey, you guys. I love it.
Mine is, I don't know. I was just trying to think of the name. Mine is called Detroit Rock City.
I've never heard of these movies you guys are talking about. You guys have heard of the Goonies. It's a classic. Everybody knows the Goonies.
Detroit Rock City is about these kids in high school two kids in high school, they have to take their parents' car and go to Detroit to see a sold-out Kiss concert. It's just about like their time like dealing on the road and stuff.
So it's
a good movie.
It's a rip-off of Ferris Bueller.
Ferris Bueller is also a very good movie, very much like.
Yeah, it's the same thing, except it's like the ending was what? What's the point of like to skip school, right?
Yeah, but at the end of the movie, he makes it back home, and he ends up successfully pretending that he's sick.
Oh yeah, no, in this one, they go to Detroit. I think their parents find out. It's basically a lot to their parents like accepting that they're growing up now.
So Max Keeble's big move is like a prelude to Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. So it's very much
I like that
90s
show.
style. Main character has spiky hair, and it's him documenting him changing high schools and like the dramatics of it, and it's fucking awesome and adorable at the same time. And McGoogles is my name.
Yeah, that's very on brand for you, Bailey. Definitely.
The Goonies is a good choice, though. I mock ya, but it is a good choice because it's like a good spread of everything. It's kind of creepy for like a kid's kind of like.
See, that's why I picked it. Yeah, that's why I picked it because it has the childhoodness to it. Like these kids are like hunting for treasure, but it also has that like kind of spooky, like if you're a kid and you're messing around doing things that kids are not supposed to be doing, and you're keeping secrets from your parents. Like it was a good movie to like show you what you can accomplish as a kid, but also show you like how dangerous it is to go after these things without like parental advice or parental guidance. And I just think like it was such a wonderfully cute movie, and I just like all the imagery and stuff in the movie was just so good, and I love it. I've watched it so many times. It's just so good.
How old were you when you first saw it? Because I was. That's what I was trying to get perspective.
Yeah, I don't even remember. Because it came out.
Wondered what the Goonies would have done to me if I did see it as a little lad, you know.
Like I believe it came out in the 80s. I think it was like 82 or something like that. So the first time I watched it, I probably was older than a little kid. Like I probably was at least like 12 or 14 when I could figure out how to like look up movies on the computer by myself or something. And that's when I would have watched it. So maybe I just liked it more because I never got to be a kid and do that kind of crazy stuff. Because what they do is kind of crazy. Like they go into this underground world and they're under this like creepy people's house and they're hunting this treasure and they don't even know if it's real. And it's so wild, but it was just so good. I just really liked it.
No, I definitely vibe with that. I see why you like that.
Yeah.
I was thinking the other day, as a sidetrack, I think this will get a good, interesting combo going. I was wondering if I would have gotten looped into TikTok as a little kid, because my Disney movie was 101 Dalmatians, and Lord Jesus fucking Christ, because we were broke. It was back in the day of VHSs and DVDs. We were broke, so we didn't have many. I had like 10, maybe 5 Disney movies, right? I watched 101 Dalmatians probably like 101 times, like 200 times, probably way more than that shit. It's like, do you think you would have had the attention span, like if you were a kid, if you were a kid then and you had the access to the same technology that kids now do, would you have the same attention span? You know what I mean? Did that make sense?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I definitely wouldn't have the same attention span. I probably would fall into the same way that kids are. So what he's saying is, if you were a kid now and you had access to like TikTok and all the things that we have now, would you still have the attention span to watch movies? Because Bailey said like he would just watch the same movie over and over and over again. Do you feel like if you were a kid now, could you do that? Or would you rely on like constant new content to keep you going?
I think constant new content to keep me going. That's how it is.
Yeah, I think that that's how it would be. Because I think even as an adult, like I am good to like sit and watch one TV series for 3 days. But there'll be days when I'm like, I need more content. Like I just like constant different forms of content. It's that like meme where like people can't be in silence anymore. Like people will be watching TV with music playing in the background while on the phone and also taking a test. Like, you know, like that's how we are nowadays because our brains are so used to absorbing so much at one time. So no, I think if I was a kid now, I couldn't do that. I can as an adult. I can watch the same movie over and over again, but as a kid, no. Not in this time, like, no.
I agree. I'm like that too. I would be like, so yes, Bailey. No.
Okay, so then, follow up. Hey, thank you, Afro. Shout out.
Hi, Afro.
Cheers, boss. What do you then think? Do you think Disney contributed to the ADD-ness of that?
No.
Because
I'm waiting for one. Yeah. Okay.
Even if we look at all their movie franchises as a kid, they were always trying to already prime us to feed us new content rather than like develop a franchise or a big storyline. It was always the next animated movie or the next thing, right? Like, do you think that contributed or primed the media landscape that we are in nowadays?
I can see how you think it would. But I don't think it did. Because I think like a lot of the Disney stories that exist aren't their own stories anyway. Yeah. And so they just pulled from historical like folklore and stories and tales and stuff and just kind of like repurpose them for their own gain. So I think like those kind of stories have existed even before Disney was doing it. So I don't think that they really primed it because it's been going on from before anyways, right?
Have you guys heard
accessibility? I like that. So
yeah.
Go ahead, Raza, go.
Have you guys heard the actual story of the Hunchback of Notre Dame? Like the real one?
No, but I would like to if you're gonna tell us.
Yeah.
It's like very polar opposite of Disney. Like
yeah.
Like, you know,
well, Snow White is not right at all. Same with Sleeping Beauty.
Like, I don't know if I can say this on the stream, but like the heroine of that movie, she was considered a witch in real life.
Isn't her name Esmeralda?
I'm
fairly certain, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
and
she was considered to be a witch?
And she was burned because it's set during, I think, the Spanish, or like during that time when witches were being burnt.
Okay, that makes sense.
So the ending of the story is the hunchback going to her grave and crying or like being like super sad.
Well, that makes sense because Disney adapted her character to be. I'm sorry if this word is offensive because I know that it can be, but they've adapted her character to be a gypsy in the movie. That's technically what her character is. So that would be in line with like what
A
you know,
witch.
Disney people would think a witch would be in a
Yeah.
PC format. So that makes sense. Yeah, I get that. That's wild.
Yeah, it's just like there's
Sad.
so many dark undertones to like a lot of Disney stuff. Like
Oh yeah.
I think, like yeah, like Sleeping Beauty, a big one there. I won't say it, but there's a
Mm-hmm.
big one there. Snow White, a big one there. Uh, the good one though, I must say, the good one, and thank God, alhamdulillah, is Aladdin. Thank God, it's the good one. is it's the greatest. I should have done a presentation on that, but
How is
Yeah,
Aladdin the
maybe next
greatest one?
time.
Tell me how Aladdin is the greatest one.
to me it is, Bailey. It's to me. I don't have to explain myself.
Because I've been
Like, to
curious.
me,
I've been curious. Is it? I've read a couple things contradictory to it. I've never asked you this question personally.
because like it's just like growing up, I would be like Yago. I would memorize all of Yago's lines and stuff, and like recite them and stuff, and like you know when he would get his like tail stuck in doors and stuff, I'd be reciting those lines of him just being like a dick and stuff. But then like it's just like Aladdin sort of like growing up was just, like the first brown sort of centered where there's
Yeah.
only
Because
brown
what I read
people.
before, right, is that it's pretty much just Lawrence of Arabia, but adapted with
It
the
is.
fucking brown guy as the main character instead.
That's all it is. Yeah, it's common knowledge. Yeah.
Okay.
But like it's
It's
just
a
like
good movie. It's very cute.
then the third one, I forget what it's called, but that's the one where Aladdin's like you meet Aladdin's dad. Um, oh man, the second one was good. The Return of Jafar, is because you
Yeah.
get to see Jafar doing all this bad. You can see him
Yes.
becoming this
I do
wizard and
remember
stuff.
that one, actually, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and I thought I fucking had a crush on Jasmine growing up, so I thought that was like.
I always felt like Aladdin kind of ran in that same line as like Hercules, because Hercules was based off like Greek mythology, kind of was the concept for that one. And so I
Yeah.
always felt like the story of Aladdin, like I know it's based off, I don't know that story actually, so I don't want to sound ignorant. I don't know that story. I know, so from knowledge of you guys, it's based off of that, but I always thought it was based off of like to me it always gave me the vibe of like a god type story,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, because
Like I never
and in
felt
the
like it was like
remake-
a young kid. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then remake,
I
but
see where
like
you're coming from.
and
Yeah.
then Robin Williams as the genie. Come on, man.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. You're not gonna tell me that's the
We love some
best
Rob.
casting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like that. And then Will Smith as the genie. I mean,
I haven't watched the live action. I'm too afraid.
it's literally
Yeah,
like the
me neither.
rehash of the first movie,
Yeah.
but told sort of different, but more musical numbers.
Yeah. See, like I'll say the only like live action remakes that I liked, because I know when we started talking about it, I said I don't like live actions, because the truth is I don't really. But the Alice in Wonderland live action, I loved it. The Peter Pan, obviously, I loved it. The did I said Alice in Wonderland already? Because those two. But to be fair, like those two were really good, and I did really like them.
But the Alice in Wonderland, it's like Tim Burton. They went out of their whole fucking socket. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
So that's
it's
what
not- you can't-
that's right. But that
it's
was
like
my
saying
point that I was trying to
Caroline
make.
That's like saying Caroline was a good Disney movie. You know what I mean?
I'm sorry, you don't think Coraline was a good Disney movie?
No, it was.
I'm gonna
but it's
stay
like
out of this whole
barely,
debate
but it's-
Because like
No.
I'll
listen,
have to be really mad at you.
Because
I'm staying out of this debate.
But it's like Disney didn't do that. It was all in the director's hands and the animator's
Okay.
hands. It has nothing to do with Disney's vision.
right. So what I was trying to say, the reason why I like those specific live action is because they lean more into the dark side of things. Because
Yeah.
I prefer more like not necessarily spooky or scary, but I prefer like more of a dark, gloomy undertone to a
I
movie.
agree with that.
And
I
like
agree with that.
Coraline was an amazing, absolutely amazing movie. It took so much work to put that movie together. The characters were amazing. The storyline was amazing. I've watched the movie like 600 times. It's like one of my all-time favorite Disney Tim Burton movies. Like, I love it. It's so good. Okay? Just want to make that clear.
Whatever.
Why don't you like it? Tell me why you do not like it.
Like having my mom on the podcast.
No, you don't like it, and I can tell he doesn't like it. He's trying to not hurt my feelings.
I know.
Why don't you like it, Bailey? Tell me why.
It's a good movie. There ain't nothing wrong with it. I'm not complaining about the movie.
Which movie?
It's a little slow paced. Coraline.
I have some problems with it. Then again, I have problems with Tim Burton, so I will stay out of it completely.
It could be paced a little bit better, but that's like, again, like, you can't put that in Disney's basket. Is just what I get grumpy about. People give,
but
a
like,
lot of
technically you can.
Corporation. No, you can't. They just gave fucking Tim Burton a bag. Tim Burton would have done it if someone else gave him a bag.
Okay, that's the whole point of, like, movies, is to make money. Yeah, of course.
So then why does Disney get the credit just for being the bank?
Well, because if Disney didn't pay him to make that movie, then the movie wouldn't have happened.
Disney is known to have to hold their directors hostages room. So.
But not only that, Disney literally has their hands in everything. Disney has their hands in everything. I mean, all these stupid superhero movies that everybody's obsessed with, like, Disney's in the background, like, yeah, man. We helped with that. Enjoy it.
Bitch, yeah.
That's very valid.
We gave you these movies.
That's a valid critique.
I mean, no offense, Raza. I know everybody's like super hype about superhero movies. I just can't buy it. I was talking about this with one of my friends recently because he's a super superhero movie buff. He loves them. I literally cannot sit through a single superhero movie. I can't do it. If it's not the OG Spider-Man, like, I can't do it. I can't. I'm sorry. I just can't.
I might get you to do a live reaction to, because the Marvel just released the new trailer for their, like, the new phase.
Eternals. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I think I just seen it.
But I was like, if someone doesn't give a fuck about any of this is so weak. Like,
I know.
This is really cool for me. But if I had no idea what the hell is going on, I would be like, "This is."
Is it the one? Is it the one with Elba in it?
No,
it's new.
Like
that's Suicide Squad.
It's like a montage.
Oh, okay. I'm just like, there's this really weird thing to me with superheroes that I just can't get on board. I just really don't like that they're made to be kind of like alien people. I just really don't like that. And the reason why I like Spider-Man so much, because that's the only superhero one I like, preferably the Tobey one, we know this, is because okay Raza.
That's not a Disney movie.
No, but the reason why, it has nothing to do with Disney or not, but it has to do with the fact that, like, the character is so human to me. And, like, the way that he became a superhero, to me, seems like how a superhero should become a superhero. I don't like the whole concept of, like, Superman being an alien. I think that's super cringy. I don't like it. Like, to me, it's just so cringe.
But so many of the Disney movies are that. So many of the Disney movies are not, like, a human relatable character for us, the everyday person.
But I can buy Peter Pan because it's like a mystical creature versus like an alien. I just don't know why. For me, like, that line, I just can't cross. It doesn't work for me. I just can't. I just don't like it. It doesn't feel good to me. Like, okay, Batman is kind of like, that one's believable because he's like a billionaire and, like, then he has all these, like, tools. Like, okay, that's very humanoid, right? So I can enjoy that character. But I really don't like the whole alien thing. It just doesn't do anything for me. Like, Superman specifically has always been a really hard superhero series for me to, like, indulge in at all.
The specific origin of your, like, protagonist matters whether or not you're going to give a
correct.
As soon as they go, oh, he's part alien, you're like, I'm fucking out.
I'm out. Yeah,
I'm out.
No, but because I think, because, like, when we were kids, the superhero movies that were out were very minimal, I think, and it wasn't as popularized. I feel like superhero stuff has become popularized, and that's why everyone's so obsessed with it, because more directors are making movies, and it's like all the universes are kind of all over the place. I don't know how anything is supposed to line up anymore. I can't follow anything. It just frustrates me because it's just like, it just feels like a big mess, right? But when we were kids, the only one we really had, like for me, the only superhero movie that I can really remember like watching was the Spider-Man one. And I really enjoyed the origin of that character story, because he was just this kid who was in school and he was just trying to like find his way in life. He was kind of dorky, a little bit weird. He was very introverted, and then he became like this hero. Like out of like just randomly, this kid who wouldn't otherwise be in line to become a hero becomes a hero. Whereas Superman, his parents put him in the little spaceship and sent him to Earth, and they were like, he's going to become the superhero. They knew that he had superpowers. That was the whole concept of him. Like it wasn't like a slow grow or like, you know, like an earned arc, I guess. I don't know. So for me, I can't.
I agree with that. They didn't have the classic hero's journey. That's the whole fucking Superman.
Right.
Superman is colonialism, because it's I get to come here.
Yeah.
I deserve power. So look at me.
And I'm alien,
strong.
man.
Yeah,
And
that's
the
where
thing
it comes
about
from. But I do
and that's the
relate
thing about-
ultimately. If I may, sorry, you can hop in on Superman. I just want to say, yeah, no, I totally concur, because that's why Spider-Man was my favorite out of that whole bunch. But now, continue, Raza.
Yes, Raza, go ahead and
Yeah,
tell
like-
us why we're
like-
dumb.
No, I agree with everything because like Spider-Man was created to be like Stan Lee basically created him
Yes.
to be relatable and stuff like that.
Yes.
So he's like the one that everybody can go back to and be like, yes, well, Spider-Man is me, because he's that he's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He has the same upbringing as you, the same social skills as most of us. Has like.
It's true though. Like for me, that's why I relate, because I feel like I was him as a teenager, like kind of like weird, like kept to myself, didn't have a lot of friends, like you know, like I relate to him that way.
Whereas like someone like Tony Stark, like my dad was a defense contractor. That's relatable, right? So like like at the end of the day, like you want to find the characters that are the most like Flash on DC side. I find him to be just as relatable as Spider-Man, just because of who he is, his awkwardness, his quirkiness, and how he got his powers and stuff to be the most relatable thing. Bailey, but I find Flash like the equivalent of Spider-Man in that sense.
Yeah, like I can enjoy.
I'm getting super nerdy. 1 second. It's just right quick. Is like. The Flash deals with his existential crises much better than most humans. That's my only critique of the Flash. The Flash is like, oh shit, I can change all time and reality. He's like, figure this out. I'll figure this out in a little bit.
Yeah. It's just, I feel like I can respect the creative direction, right? And like all these characters, like I may not be into superhero stuff, but I can respect why people enjoy it. And like there are some other superheroes that like I enjoy as well. And like I know we've talked about this like a few episodes ago. We were talking about like comic books and stuff, and it's like I enjoy superheroes in comic books. I definitely enjoy like all the origin stories, no matter what it is. And when it's in a comic book form, for me, I can enjoy it. But the minute it's like put into like TV and like movies, I just feel like it gets cheap and it doesn't feel as good as like what your imagination can create when you're reading a comic book.
I don't know. When I saw a huge Jackman shirtless with his 3 claws coming out, I felt like this is where I needed to be.
But see, like that's the thing is like. Right, but like I can agree and say that like I do like some of those characters too. Like I like Wolverine. I think he's cool. I know we were talking about that other movie with the guy who has is it Rorschach or what is it with the face? Yeah, I love that guy. He's obviously he's not that human, and I love him. I think he's great. And like, you know, like I can appreciate some, like I like Deadpool. I think he's funny. I think he's unique. But I feel like if the character for me, because I just feel like Superman to me, like I know I'm ragging on Superman, but he just feels so flat to me.
I know.
Like he really just feels so flat. He has no personality. And then they did that whole TV series of like his hometown and like him becoming an adult. I didn't care for any of it.
You're gonna
I
make all
hated
the
it.
nerds rage. You can't say
I'm sorry.
Smallville was bad.
I didn't enjoy it at
People
all.
are gonna comment on this and hate us online, Mom.
Jesus Christ.
No, I'm not okay.
By the weeds.
Listen,
You
didn't let me.
I didn't like it either.
You just.
I even watched it, but I know.
Honestly, I just couldn't. I couldn't. Like I tried to watch a couple episodes of it, and I was like, this is just so dumb. Like Superman, it doesn't even matter. Like he didn't have to grow up like this. He could just literally do whatever the frig he wanted to. Like he's Superman. Like it just kind of felt so forced to me.
A good show for you to watch would be The Boys, then, because it.
I knew you were going to tell me that. Everybody wants me to watch that.
Just watch
because
The
it's
Boys.
like you watch The Boys because it brings up everything you're talking about. It brings up every single thing you're talking about. You'll like it.
I just think like the superhero person dynamic, like I just can't. Like I was saying, we talked about. I'll check it out, but I know I just know that I don't know if I'm gonna like it, and I don't want to hurt feelings because I know a lot of people want me to watch it.
About the literal plot line of the TV show, though, like that's the whole critique of like
it. The good thing about the show is that it makes fun of the genre, makes fun of itself, and then it's self-aware and stuff. Like it actually made fun of Endgame in like the last season. I won't spoil that. You need to like everything.
Okay, I'll definitely give it 3 episodes, and if I don't like it, then I'll stop. But I'll give it 3 episodes.
Okay,
I think that's a fair exchange.
Fair enough.
I think we don't have to close out right away, but I think we should give concluding thoughts on Disney influences.
I think Aladdin is good.
Okay. That's that.
Do you not remember the whole presentation you gave? Aladdin.
Yeah, Aladdin. We talked about Mighty Ducks. Aladdin is great. Thanks. Bye.
That was good. Yeah.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. We're done here.
Okay, whatever. Classic Raza fashion.
No. Okay. Let's.
No, I think like okay, but I think what the conclusion of this should be. I'm gonna try and butcher this because I don't even really know. I think like the conclusion would be is that when it comes to Disney, it's all subjective and it really depends on like your life. Kind of like it depends on your own origin story. Either you're gonna connect with something or you're not. Either it's gonna feel too out of your realm of existence, or it's going to fit right in with the fantasies that you maybe had as a kid. And I think that's kind of like, that's the joy of Disney, because they really do have a movie for every person to connect to, because there's so many different styles and origins in each movie.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Yeah.
I think that like Disney is doing a good job. Okay, my whole thing is like Disney is doing a good job of like knowing what the audience wants. With an asterisk, I'm putting an asterisk beside that quote, or that's the statement, is because the remakes sort of contradict that. But they have things like the superhero stuff, the Star Wars stuff, and their own IPs that they know what people want, and they are delivering on them. It's a reason why they're one of the most profitable companies on the planet, and they are home to the Mighty Ducks. So that's got to be some sort of blasting.
Oh no!
Okay, Billy, you did.
I think Disney does a mighty good job distracting us using films like the Mighty Ducks to trick us into going, oh, this is lovable and adorable. Meanwhile, they just make fucking bank off of pumping off Air Bud after Air Bud in the background. So
is Air Bud even Disney? I don't think we.
Yes, it is, bro. 110% it's Disney.
I have not seen Air Bud. movie. Okay.
Honestly,
I've seen almost every Air Bud and its sequels. They've played soccer, they've played basketball, they've played volleyball, they've played baseball.
Bailey, you
They've
poor
run a
soul.
marathon.
Weirdo, yeah. I
I
wouldn't
used
flex
to
that
rent
if I were you.
all the Air Bud films.
Yeah, I
Bro.
wouldn't flex
I was
that.
fucking down for it.
See,
I was
can't.
so enticed. God damn it! See, this is how Disney tricks you. They brainwash you with cute dog movies, and it takes over your brain.
The good thing, Mighty Ducks only got 3 movies and 2 animated, or
Oh
1 animated
gosh.
show and 1 other show. I'm glad it's like that because people want the Mighty Ducks now because there's little
Yeah.
of it. Nobody wants Air Bud anymore because there's so much of it.
They're just trying to cash in on the fucking
Bailey's just upset that he doesn't
Karate
have
Kid.
that money.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
like,
Oh, by the way,
I'll-
Karate Kid was good. Yeah,
They're
What?
just trying to cash in on the Karate. They just rebooted the Karate Kid on like.
Oh,
well, they
okay,
didn't just
okay.
do it, but it's like popping. Like it's been big. So Disney's just trying to do that, but with the Mighty Ducks. That's it.
I
Bring in
got
all
ya.
the same characters, but they're old. Bingo, bango. But
Well, it's only 1 new character. Or 1
Okay,
old
fine.
character.
Yeah, I can't do animal anything. If it's a movie and there's an animal in it, like I can't. Because I don't want any possible wrongdoings to happen to that animal. Otherwise, I will have a very bad week. So
Exactly, Bailey. It's much easier being a humanoid duck than it is being
Yeah.
I didn't
real
realize that
dog.
until I was much older. And in that way, let's end it saying sorry to all the animals that Disney probably treated poorly during the filming of our childhood films. Does Raza say sorry?
Mighty Ducks, quack, 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 quack.
All right, and that's our show for this week. This is the Same Shit Different Day. I'm Bailey. That's Raza. You can follow us on Instagram at Marching Into Madness. You can follow us on YouTube where this full episode goes up edited. If you stick around after, we chat on Twitch, and you should do that because if you get pissed at us talking shit about the Mighty Ducks, it's a good way to retaliate. Wine Mom here now has an Instagram. It's something Wine Mom something something. They also chose a complicated one, which is fantastic.
it's actually very simple. It's X Wine
Yeah,
Mom
I know what you're
X.
talking about.
I picked an easy one for you, Bailey.
God damn
It was very easy.
Shit. Well, nonetheless, thank you for tuning in. We'll be
Yes.
back on Monday, 7 p.m. and another random topic. Hopefully, Raza does not have another presentation, or he may.
It'll be Mother's Day themed, so be ready.
Ooh, I want that. I want
And now
that.
we're going to chat. Thank you for watching, fam. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.